Top of the morning folks, today from the Reddit Rainforest. Boys of Reddit, what happened when you got caught staring at a girl's butt by the girl? I just winked and she rolled her eyes. We got married 5 years ago. One time got caught staring at a hot teacher and she just smiled at me when I was caught. She pulled me aside after class and said it's rude to stare, but she was flattered. I did the same thing in high school during my freshman and senior year with one teacher. When she noticed me looking at the end of senior year, she kinda just looked at me like, I see you staring. She started talking about how I should make sure not to get a girlfriend in college until after I graduate. Something about being distracted and I should focus on my grade/job. She always talked about how she enjoyed when students kept in touch after they graduated to see how they are doing. Did not think anything of the conversation then and never went back to visit. I'm only realizing now 7 years later I'm very dumb. Not but. Boobies. I tried not to. Her friend caught me and hooked me up later. Some girls are good wingmen. Or wing women. Wing people. The best moment of my adolescence was when my 7th grade math teacher Mr. Point Dempsey saw me looking at a girl's butt. And when I looked away from her I made eye contact with Mr. Point Dempsey for a split second and he winked at me, causing me to burst out laughing until I cried. It was totally worth looking like an idiot for. I was staring off into the space her ass occupied for about 10 minutes before she got there. She thought I'd been looking at her, when in reality I'd been thinking about my next D&D character. Slapped me and asked me I was looking at her ass so intensely. I told her, listen, lady, I have been trying to think of a character for my next D&D session for the past 10 minutes, and you're totally ducking up my train of thought. I have no idea why, but she thought it was the funniest thing she'd ever heard. Then she said, I'm glad my ass is good inspiration for you. We have been best friends for about 2 years now, and our ongoing joke is my character died. I need your ass for inspiration for a new one. And that's how I get nudes. Is it possible to learn this power? Please. First, you need to be in a damned group. Then, you sit in a public place. Preferably in a public transportation. After that, sit deep in thought. Furrow your brows slightly, and lean forward lightly. Finally, hope you get lucky. I asked her if I could eat Cheerios out of her butthole. She declined. I spaced out during class after pulling an all-nighter and was kinda falling asleep when the chair I was staring at was occupied by this cute girl. She noticed me staring at her ass and was obviously angry, but since I was running on coffee and cigarettes, she thought I was high and told me to get help for my imaginary weed problem. We kept talking and smoking cigs together after class from time to time. We're still friends and, yes, I have stared at her ass sometimes. Definitely not the normal response, but I was at the grocery store and there was this woman, now known as Kate, in the frozen aisle. She was wearing tight yoga pants. I guess they are usually tight, and I just could not help myself because she really stood out. I literally said out loud Jesus as I was walking up the aisle from behind. She caught my glance. She turns and looks at me the entire time I'm walking by, but instead of a death glare it was more like a I like it type of look. Ever see that gif with the guy pulling the girl's hair on the bleachers and turns around? Yeah, like that. It really caught me off guard and honestly I was too much of a pussy in the moment, so I pretended it was not a reaction to her and kept walking. I do some more shopping, walk to my car, and there's a note on my car windshield with a number "No Jesus here." How she knew it was my car, I do not know. Anyway, I ended up calling the next day, have to give it a little time, and let's just say it's been a lot of fun. Girls are smart. Good looking girls figures it out from early age that people loves to stare at them. If they catches you, a person like you have two options. Either you pretend you were looking at something else and move your head super fast, which if you look from their point of view, makes you look like a creep, or you can own up to it and give them a smile or nod. Since most girls can tell you were creeping on them, they most likely appreciate someone brave who can look them directly in the eye and own up to it. This is not a good idea, unless you're really attractive lol. Yup. 20-year-old female here, and I find it flattering if the guy owns up to it in a respectful way. Then I can choose to engage or nod and politely look away. We laughed about it, and then she said you can look, but you cannot touch. Back in high school, a girl was holding her notebook just under her breasts, and I was trying see what band logos she had drawn. She raised the notebook to cover her chest, but it was not until I made eye contact that I realized she thought I was ogling her. Whoops, I knew her BF. Not friends, but it was a small school. He was pretty pissed and wanted to fight. We fought. It hurt. At school, the girl I had a crush on saw me and blew a kiss at me. Naturally, I quickly looked away and pretended to be doing something else. She asked me if I wanted to go to a movie later that night. When we did, it was so damn awkward. I once needed to put a folder away, but a girl I'm friends with was standing right where I needed to put it, with her fat ass right there. I started slapping her ass with the folder and could not help but look, and she turned around and punched me, saying something like that would have been fine if you had not been looking. She asked me if I was staring at her ass, and I told her that I was. Then she asked what I thought. I said it brightened my day. Looking back, I probably should have asked for her number. She grabbed mine. Seemed fair. I'm a big fan of pulling the I'm acknowledging you, but will never speak of this downward frown face. My Apache teacher looked at me with eyes of disappointment. I can still feel his eyes gazing at me. She started giving me malarkey for looking at her strangely. She automatically stopped after I explained that my eyes do not work so good and they end up locked in one position for long periods of time. She wrote he likes my butt in her diary. We were married a year later. She smiled and told me to look as long as I wanted. We're still friends and she's still a flirt. Nice butt, though. That's how I broke my arm. I did not know she had a boyfriend. For some reason, a girl in our class was changing in the doorway to their locker room. My friend looked out as soon as she bent over. The entire class dissed him for the next month. She called me a creep and a despo. 8th grader here was at a school dance. She and her friends all looked at me like WTF, but later she pulled me away and gave me her snap. You staring at my ass? Yeah, I was reading the tag you left on your pants. You know you can get those cheaper at me, just right. If you are reading this, you made it until the end of the video. There is no more after this. Click the thumbs up button since you liked the video, because you made it until the end. On screen there should be some more videos similar to this. So either go do something else or watch another video. That's it. I do not know why you are still here. What are you waiting for, a secret message or something? Okay. Are you ready? The message is subscribers enjoy 2 great Reddit videos every day. Yeah, I know. What are you expecting though? This is a YouTube channel.